Hello, Fed Phoenix fam. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about building your credit post-incarceration. Now, some people, while they're incarcerated, they attempt to, improve or build credit, right? And this could be something like telling your loved ones who you can trust with your information, maybe spouse, immediate family, siblings, adult children. You got to use your own discretion, but you can tell people, hey, you obviously know my full name, my date of birth. Let me give you my social security number. And please make me an authorized user on some of your accounts, on some of your credit cards. I don't need to know the name of the account. I don't need a copy of the card. I don't need you to even tell me that you did it. But that me having that, even though this is something I have no access to, so it's zero risk on your end, will help, to some degree with my credit history and my credit, what's perceived as my availability of credit and whatnot. There's that. Another thing that incarcerated people often do is you can fill out papers to get from all three credit reporting agencies once a year a copy of your credit report. And inmates do this via mail. Or if you have someone in the free world that has like all your information and a picture of like a current driver's license, perhaps they could probably do this for you. Or without the driver's license, maybe they could just do it with your information. But a lot of inmates don't really have support on the outside, so they got to kind of wing it themselves. And then when they get their credit reports, they start disputing things and doing this all old school. Letters, pen and paper, sending them out, waiting, because as an inmate, some people obviously have cell phones. We've all seen TikTok and whatever. But cell phones are not allowed. And if you get caught with a cell phone, there's disciplinary infraction, there's consequences. Most inmates don't, in fact, have cell phones in their possession. They're extremely expensive to get. The COs smuggle them in, and you're not supposed to have them to begin with, right? So a lot of times, stuff like this, you need people in the free world to do for you. Now, when I was incarcerated, I did try to get a copy of one of my credit reports. I filled out the form, and I went down the hill, and I paid for a copy of my inmate ID, and I sent it with it, just so they know, like, it's not like my bunkie trying to, be in my business. But then I got a thing back saying, like, oh, sorry, we weren't able to confirm that you're you, so not giving it to you. And I'm the only person I know that had that issue, so. Now, when I came home from prison, and as most of you know, I've been home a little over 2 years, I decided I would start my credit journey, right, with a secured credit card. Because I knew that I probably didn't have a very good credit score because I've never used credit cards in my life, and I'm in my 40s. I don't really have any debt either. But again, I'm not a person that's ever used the credit system, right? So I applied for a secure credit card. And I was approved, of course, with the largest possible deposit and whatever. And I ended up not getting that one at the time. But what was interesting is, like, on Credit Karma and all them, it said that I didn't have enough credit history. They didn't have enough information to even tell me a score, right? I just, what people call no credit. But if you apply for something where there's a credit inquiry, like even a secured credit card, the credit agencies have to generate a number as a score to give these people to help them base their decisions off of. So I was able to look at the report that they got, right, and see what my credit score was. Y'all ready for this? Guess. I'll give you a hint. It was below 500. Guess. Guessing still? Okay, below 400. Below 300. Below 200. Below 100. My credit score, and I SHIT you not. And if you have any doubt about this, feel free to send me an email. My email address is always in the description. People want to get a hold of me. I will happily mail you email you back a screenshot of this information. Obviously blocking out personal information, but just to validate what I'm saying is true. My credit score was literally 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I talked to a friend who was a CPA, and I'm like, how is that even possible? Like, I didn't think you could not have at least a 3-digit number. And they said, well, let me look at your Credit Karma, your app, and see what they're saying about you. And he said, oh, well, you're in your 40s. You've never used credit. I only have one outstanding debt that legally should not be my debt. It was a whole thing with my youngest child, and The other parent was supposed to have insurance at the time on him, and then once he got a procedure, they canceled the insurance to make sure I got stuck with the bill. And it's not worth the time to go fight it in court, whatever. It's a couple $1,000s. And I'm just leaving it alone because I know eventually it'll fall off, and it's not my debt, you know what I mean, to be paid. So anyway, so he's like, you don't really have any outstanding debt. You have minimal debt. You have no credit history. You have no credit usage, obviously, because you have no credit access. Like, your credit age is 0. You're a newborn. He said, essentially, you are, in the credit world, what I would call off the grid. And he said, it's really incredible that you made it to this age and don't have, like, legitimately bad credit, that you're off the grid. And I was like, well, you know, with the upbringing I had growing up in the system and stuff, I just didn't have a lot of the same experiences as most people, a lot of the same journey, you know, especially in my younger years, including, like, my early adult years. And it never occurred to me when I was young to, sign up for a credit card. Like, I thought, you know, for a large percentage of my life, I thought credit cards were just for rich people, or like the children of rich people that are just blowing through their family's money. And I thought that maybe that's what ruins their credit, right? I don't know. So I'm gonna tell you what I did, because I got some exciting news. So my daughter told me about the Self app, right? And how it works is I'm on the smallest payment program. So it's $25 a month. I'll pay that every month for 2 years. Every month I pay that, and on my credit it shows up as like a loan, right? A secured loan, but they're giving you no money up front. So every month I'll pay that for 2 years. And when it's all said and done, I would have paid in, I think it's $600. My payout is $500 and some. So I pay this every month, this $25, and basically for the service of it appearing on my credit, you know, the payment history, you know, at this point I have 100% on-time payment history. It's allowing me to develop a credit age, because now I exist in the world of credit. And the on-time payment history looks really good, right? So, and yeah, you lose roughly $100 after this 2 years is up, a little under $100. But I think for the benefits of it, it's worth it, at least in my opinion, certainly for me. So let me tell you. So a little after a month into this, I finally got my first real credit score. It was 617. Honestly, I would have been happy if it would have been 500, because I'm like, I need a point to go from. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if you're a self-surrender to prison, or you're getting transferred in from county jail, or being bounced around. You really just want to start that journey. You want to get your footing so you can move forward, right? So 617. Now, after I got this, I thought, well, I have no credit usage, no credit availability. And you know, I was reading that, like, diversifying your credit, like the more of these different elements in the credit world that you have, it assists your credit score, assuming you're doing responsible things, right? So I did sign up for a Capital One secured credit card, and this time they didn't want the biggest deposit from me. They only wanted a $50 deposit, and I thought, well, I'll probably get like a $50 limit. That doesn't make any sense. Well, then I get the card and I have a $200 limit, and I was like, wow, because before I started doing the Self thing, which I'd only been doing like not even 2 months, I had no credit score, and the same credit card company wanted like their maximum deposit. Now they just want their minimum. So, which is really exciting. And so, but because of the hard inquiry with that, I think because my credit was really new, my credit then dropped down to like a 599. But in the last like month and a half, it has went up to, I think I'm at 608 now. So it's, you know, it did take a hit, but it's going up quickly. And then because with the Self app, I'm paid a month ahead. So like on the app, it'll show you like how much you've paid in or whatever. Once you've paid in $100, you can then use that $100, and they will apply that to their secure credit card, which starts out with only a $100 limit. So basically you can only spend money that they already have of yours. And so I went ahead and got that. So now I've had the Capital One card for about a month, maybe a little less. And I've had the Self card for like 3 days. So what I'm gonna do is my Netflix, which is like $7, my Walmart Plus, which is a couple dollars, so like less than $20 of stuff, I'm having that automatically come out of the Self card. That way I'm not using a large percentage of the limit, but I'm, you know what I mean? And then I set it up too where the Self card automatically comes out of my bank account every month. You know what I mean? Like, so these things kind of rotate and pay themselves. I just have to make sure I have the money in the bank when I'm supposed to cover them. And then The Capital One, because it has like a $200 limit, I have my cell phone coming out of that, which is like $55-$60. And again, the Capital One card is linked to my bank account, so it just automatically pays itself, you know what I mean, when it's time. And so right now I'm a 608, but I'm pretty confident that once my credit updates to reflect that I have multiple lines of credit and I'm doing 100% on-time payments, low credit usage, I really, because with one card it'll be like 20%, with the other card it's like 30%, and I guess 30% is like the sweet spot. I'm pretty confident that by the end of the year I'll be up to like a 650. And so, you know, it's just really something that I never really gave much thought to or really cared about before. It just wasn't a relevant aspect of my life that I'm now pretty invested in. So I say that to say, if you are a person who has no credit or really bad credit and you want to work on your credit, if you are going into prison and, you know, you want to work on your credit to whatever degree you can while you're incarcerated, I told you what people are doing. When you come home, you want to work on it, you can do what I'm doing. If you're a person sitting at home that has bad credit or no credit, you want to build your credit, I strongly advise the path that I'm taking. And in this video, in the comment section, if it'll let me post links, I can't remember if it will or won't, but if it will let me, I'll post a link to the referral code, like for Capital One and for Self app, so like they know you're referred by me. And what this will do is, I think with Capital One, you get like $10 and I get 20. And I think with Self, it's kind of the same thing. Like once you set it up and you're doing your on-time payments, they give you a bonus $10. That's $10 less you'd be paying a month. And then they give me an additional $20 off my regular payments. So we both save money. You know, and either if you use my links, my referral codes, we're both going to save money without spending any additional money. So, and that would certainly help me on my journey, because I know a lot of people who watch my videos understand that I'm a single mom and it's a difficult time economically for pretty much all of us. And maybe they want to help out a little bit, but you know, what they can do is they subscribe, which I love. Thank you so much. Or they like videos. Thank you. They comment. Thank you. A few people might share some. Thank you. You know what I mean? I understand that everybody can't say, oh, I like what you're doing. I'd like to, you seem like a nice person. I'd like to give you a couple bucks. Everyone doesn't have that, and that's okay. I don't have that. You know what I mean? So, you know, one thing that you can do that's going to help me and you, if you decide to do what I'm doing with the Self and the Capital One, is just use my referral link. It costs you absolutely nothing. It makes us both money. We all win. So, but anyway, but I wanted to share that because I've had a lot of people say, you know, I want to fix my credit while I'm in prison, or, you know I have bad credit, or I don't think I have any credit. You know, it's never been, you know, people like me, it's never been part of my life. But when I come home, I'm going to, you know, really get to adulting, you know, responsibly and fix or build my credit. And I got to tell you, I've been on my journey now for, I think, a few months. And I went from a 4 to, 617, 619, back down to a 599, then up to a 603, and now I'm at a 608. So you know, and the drop was simply from the hard inquiry for the Capital One card. And I think the reason why I got such a big drop from that one hard inquiry was just because my credit score was super fresh. Like my credit age was almost nothing. It was less than a month when I did that. So, but anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope this video has been helpful. You know, if you like it. If you have not already subscribed and you're willing to do so, cost you absolutely nothing, does me a world of favors. I would greatly appreciate it. My Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal will be in the description if you want to, you know, send me and my youngest to the ice cream shop on you or whatever, you know, or just help out with my own, you know, pay and keeping on top of my finances to build my credit or help the brand or whatever. There'll also be a link in the description to the merch line if you'd like to buy some Fed Phoenix gear. I have the, you know, Fed Phoenix fam stuff, which is all of us. But then I also have some merchandise that specifically is people are people, because that's a message that I think has gotten lost somehow culturally at this point, largely. And I think that it's really pivotal when we're talking about incarcerated persons or just human beings in general, that we remember people are people and we treat them accordingly. So with that, I think I covered everything that I wanted to. But good day, God bless. If you are on your credit journey, I would love any tips you want to offer, any, you know, your story, whatever. And like I said, if it'll let me, I will put the links to the Capital One and Self, like my referral codes, in the comments of this video. If it doesn't let me, you can always email me and I'll be happy to give you those. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But anywho, so thank you so much for your time, and whatever you are going through right now in your life, The good, the bad, the whatever. Remember, it is a slice of your life, and you will get through it because you have to. So, good day. God bless.